Hello, I'm Chris, this is Gross Models, and this is the build of the Incredi Builds Star Wars R2D2. This was a gift from Shane Youngs. He sent me 3 of them to build up in different colour schemes and finishes, so I'll show you what we get in the packet. It's a laser cut FSC certified wood sheet. Don't know what FSC certified means, but basically it's a wooden sort of laminate board, just one board, which has got all the pieces already sort of pre-cut and engraved a little bit with some of the details from R2. Quite nicely done actually, a lot of detail on the legs there. So I'll get that out of the packet. You also get in the pack a book which has got some great pictures in it of R2 himself, and obviously stills from the films. Lots of details as to the manipulator arms and extra bits that have been added throughout the films. So lots of reference pictures in there already, as well as the finished kit and ideas for painting. Obviously it shows you the colour scheme for the regular R2, one that's been left in the swamps on Dagobah, R2Q5, the black Imperial version, and R4P17, the red and white version. As I say, I've got 3 of these sent through, so I'm going to do one as nice shiny R2, one messed up in Dagobah, and I'm going to go for the Galactic Empire version, because that's just the same but red instead of blue, so this is a different look to it. Also in the pack you get advertising for more in the series. In the Star Wars series they do, say, TIE Fighter, X-Wing, Falcon, the AT-ACT, Death Star, and obviously R2. What the packs look like if you're going to go and find them in the shops. And they do Marvel ones as well. Groot, Captain America's shield, Iron Man, I can't remember her name from Zootopia, the police woman bunny, Dory, and Lumiere from Beauty and the Beast. So they look like they could be, some of those would be quite interesting. The only other thing in the packet there is, let me get rid of the packet, the build instructions, which it's very strangely laid out in these. It sort of starts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 13, because you're meant to open it all like that, and then it goes across the entire page just to make it really nice and confusing. Obviously then the legs, there's 45 steps to it. Not sure exactly how many pieces there are, I didn't count them, 77, 80. There's quite a few parts, but obviously a lot of them are pretty easy. Now I have flicked through the building and painting instructions, and it does say to paint the engraved parts before assembly, but I don't think that's going to be the best way for me to do it, so I'm going to try assembling it and then painting it built. Excuse me while I unwrap the plastic from this. Yeah, purely because you've got to do the edges of some of them as well, but you don't know which bits are going to be visible until it's all put together. So I'm going to crack on and build this, and then we'll see about painting afterwards. Right, the build is, say, pretty self-explanatory. It actually starts with part number 1 and then continues on through until you get to the end. So part 1 is right in the middle there, not the easiest one to get to. Now these are, excuse the traffic, all sort of pre-cut, laser cut, so the pieces do pretty much pop out without having to worry about them at all. So I'm going to get, I know I need number 3 as well, so I'll get 3 off while I've got that next to me. And number 2 is that little one down there. Now all of this is assembled without any glue, tape or anything else. So basically you get 1 and 2, that goes in there, that way round, yeah, and then the long bit of that goes through there as well. And that goes all the way up, all the way down, making a nice secure solid bit there. So that's 1, 2 and 3. Part 4 is the other big bit here, which goes down there, but somewhere down, further up, it goes up to about there somewhere. Then you've got these edge pieces to go around. Now part number 5 is there. So let's see, it's got basically little keyed in pieces that go through both of them and goes flush. So this is obviously going to be the dome, R2's head. So we've got that, we've got all of the rest of these to do. And so basically it's just pushing all of them onto there. I'll get them done off camera and come back when they're all done. Right, there you go, that's the head done, or at least the framework for the head done. Next up we need to turn the page over and go back to, as I said, there's lots of bits the same about putting all the same bits on, so obviously you don't need to worry about each and every step for that. We've now got the main base for R2 himself, and then we'll be putting on the main body panels. Now a couple of these you're not putting on yet, basically the two with the crosses on it, the legs go onto before you assemble them into the body. So I'll put them to one side. They're both identical, so you don't need to worry about which one's which on those, but obviously the main front and back panels are all unique, so you do need to worry about which ones are those. Also the tops are all different, or mostly different as well, so you've got to get them in the right order as well. Let's just get all of these off and then worry about which one's which. You can see obviously the couple of little flaky bits which could do with being got rid of. Let's just file those down a little bit, get rid of the rough edges. It's obviously where the only little bits that are holding it together are attached. Yeah, as I say, these are unique. The front panel and the back panel, obviously you've got to get in the right order, and you've got to get in the right orientation around the central stick there as well. So we'll get that on there that way around. It's difficult to make out on here. Yeah, it goes across the short bits as I've done that. And then we have, let's say, the front goes on the front with the two pieces either side of it. What I'm going to do is ignore the instructions and get this on this side, and then I'm going to get the other one on the other side in the hope that it will actually hold it all together a little bit better. A little bit squarer, a little bit attached. There we go. So then we need to put the two sides on. The two sides. Well, 4 sides technically, because we're doing 2 for the front. So they're quite a tight fit, so it's somewhat tricky to do. Yeah, pushing down onto a surface is obviously the way to go. So you make sure you get these on the correct sides, because if they're wrong, they're going to look wrong, especially when they're painted up. So that's that. That's the main body piece. Then we've got the head to work around and get all of these head pieces on. Now, say all of these are unique for each bit. So you've got the big eye that goes right on the front. So we'll start at the bottom and put each one on in place. That's that. Then we'll work our way up to the top, making sure we get them the right way round. There we go. And then we'll just work around to the next side and do exactly the same until we finish the dome. So again, I'm going to cut off the camera and do that without boring you with all each individual piece. I'll see you in a moment. Right, there we go, that's the head completed. Next up we've got a leg, so we can put that aside for now. We're grabbing parts 44, 45 and 46. So we've got a leg, 45 and 46, there we go, that's 45. And 46 is the bigger version of that. Trying not to pop any of the other pieces out because the numbers are all on the wood next to it rather than actually on the piece itself. So we've got that one, we've got the top one goes on the top with that little notch on the opposite side to the engraving. That one doesn't matter because it's the same either way up. That goes on there. Then remember not to go as if you're reading a book, you've got to keep going across the entire page. So we need 47 and then 48 in a moment. Let's grab them off now. I see 48. And 47 is one of these little bits. Now they're all the same and there's no way they're only coming out one at a time. So I'm going to take out those two. Put that one aside for a moment. Right, so we've got that little bit goes on that side. And that one goes on that side. Obviously only one side of this is engraved, so it's obviously designed to be viewed from one direction. So you're looking at it from, obviously that's one leg, so you can see that from the front, but don't look at it from the back sort of thing. So that's that. Then we've got 49 and 50, which are the feet basically, which are those two from the middle there. Big one first. They just go on. And just push into place like that. So you've got sort of a little wheel at the bottom. Well, that's not really a wheel. And there we go. That's a foot, a leg. To attach it, we need one of those. We need 51, 2, that's 53 and 54. So we've got 50, well, go 1 and 4. The other two obviously the same for the other leg, and one of these round ones, 53, 52 rather. So we've got a block that goes through there. Then we've got the circle. More of a spacer, so it gives you a little bit of room from the body. Then that goes through that, and the other little plug goes in the opposite direction and just holds it together. It's great. So that's going to be the trickiest bit to paint once it's assembled, because you can't really get up there, but we'll worry about that. And then that goes onto the body on the correct side. And there we have it. Right, I'm going to do the same again on the other side, but obviously reversed, so I won't bother filming that because that's just duplication of what I've already done. Put the legs out and get that done, and I'll show you when he's got two legs. There we go, a pair of legs on R2 himself. So obviously he won't stand up now because he's missing his third leg, which is conveniently the next part we've got to do. Well, we've got to do the interior sort of framework, which is that bit and all of these along here. So let's pop them all out. There we go. Now again, these are all identical, so you don't need to worry too much about which is which. You've just got to get them on there the right way round. So they basically have one notch on the end and one in the middle. It's the one on the end that we're worrying about at the moment, getting that on there. And I seem to be missing one. Yep, one didn't come out of the paper there. I'm going to grab that off the card. Oh, first one didn't come off. There we go. So that's that. All of those on there. Now the tricky bit is getting those 8 things to line up with those 8 things. So it goes that way round. And a little bit of manipulation and pushing and holding and wobbling. We can get most of them in, but they've all got to go in or it won't go down. There we go, that's that one. That one's still off to one side a little bit. That seems to be all of them. There you go. They're on there, so that's the base of R2. So now it's just the foot. That's that. Alright, so we need 76 and 77. 76, 77 should be there, and should be another one of those. So that's obviously come off while I've taken the other one off. There it is. So they go on the front of that foot. There we go. While I'm here, I'm going to take the rest of the pieces off of here because there's only another 4. I'll get them all done. So that goes on the bottom. That one goes on the top. Those 2, same as on the other side, but this one hasn't got the extra bit on it. It goes on there, then the big one, then the little one, and then that whole thing sort of holds the bottom bit on as well. So that is the completed kit. There's R2, he stands up, he's all happy. Thank you very much, Shane. I'll say get him painted. So I'm doing the 2 regular R2s and 1 black R2. So I'm going to get 2 of these built up and get them painted up as R2, and then I can dirty one of them. So I'm going to get another one built. I'm not obviously going to film that because, you know, and then we'll see about painting. Yeah, I'm going to prime it all in white. And use the white as the base colour for everything. Then obviously we need the silver and blue detail to add in. I'm going to brush paint that in because obviously there's no way I'm going to be able to mask and do everything on that. So I'll get it all sprayed white in primer and then start some brush painting. So I'll see you when that's done. Well, there you go, that's one primed in white and one not. Just to give you the idea as to the difference between the painting and not painted. It actually makes the engraved detail stand out a little bit better. I was slightly worried that I wouldn't be able to see it after priming it, but yep, I'm happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and do the second one again and then come back and show you when I start brush painting. The white primer's down, all covered, nice, looking good, and you can still see the detail of the engraving on it. Now I'm going to go with some metallic Arctic blue and aluminium for the blue and silvery bits. Basically I'm just using the Vallejo Model Air but not spraying it and brush painting it. So I've got a plastic tray that I use as a palette here. I'm just getting some silver out and then basically brushing it on. I'm going to cover the entire dome in silver and then go over it with the blue and obviously do the blue where it needs to be as well. Now the silver bit actually comes down to here, so I'm just carefully eyeballing where it's going to go over that line, not worrying about masking or anything like that on there. Just going to get most of it blocked in. I can go in with a finer brush and get some detail work done on it as and when. I don't need to worry too much about the line at the moment. If I do go over onto the white, I can always brush white over the top and get it done on there. The one thing I am doing is going in the edges, so the edges get covered as well. So when you're looking at it from an edge, you know, you can obviously see the edge of the wood there. I'm making sure I'm getting that coloured in the colour that would be there as well. So I'm going to go away and obviously not going to do all of this on camera, because that's even more boring than most of my videos. So once I've got all this blocked in, so I can do all the chrome. So there's obviously the entire dome. There's a couple of bits on here as well. The front grille pieces need to be chrome, as does bits of obviously the surround and the buttons and things like that. So I'm going to get all of the chrome that I can see and get to painted now. Then I'll show you that and come back and start on some blue. He doesn't look quite right just in the silver and white, so it's time to get some blue. Obviously the most prominent blue part on R2 is the arms and that on the front. So let's get started with those. Basically exactly the same as I was doing with the silver. I'm just doing with the blue rather. As I say, I can go in and touch up edges if I need to with a finer brush. This is just about getting the sort of blocking in the colours, making sure it all gets in there. So as ever, I'm not going to do all of this on camera. I'm sure you all know how to paint, and you've seen someone paint before. Not much point in me doing all of that for you. So I might as well get this one done, and then I'll finish off the blue off camera and come back and show you what's what with the last couple of bits of detail that need to go onto it. Same as on the silvery bits on these, I'm just painting inside the edges just so it doesn't look wrong when you catch sight of it. Say not square onto a panel. So there we go, that's the one. I've tried it on another one and it doesn't actually make any noticeable difference going over blue or going over silver, so it doesn't matter. I say where I've got to go over these bits, they end up looking the same. Obviously I've got that blue ring to go around there, blue bits on the dome as well, but say going over the silver looks the same as going over the white, so I'm not worried about that. So I'll get that finished off, and then there's the last couple of highlight colours to do, and then we'll be about done. All the blue done. I do need to go back round and neaten up some of the edges with some white, but I'm pretty happy with how it's come out. I've also done a little red spot on the front there, and now I'm just going to use a little bit of black. I'm using metallic black, which is black with a slight sort of silvery fragrance to it, to do the lenses of the cameras. Now this one, there's a little cutout on that which needs to be highlighted in white, so I'm carefully going around that bit but filling in the rest of it. When this is dry, I'll come back in with the white to give that little reflection highlight. I'm also going for the centre of the little bits that would be the little protuberance cameras, but obviously they don't come out on this, at the front and up at the top here, and also the two little spots on the back of the dome there, the little black plugs. That one's going to be another colour at the back there, I think, isn't it? So yeah, wait for that to dry and then add the white. I've still got the little display screens to put little dots of colours in, but apart from that, you can tell it's R2. That's what it's all about, isn't it? So I'll leave that overnight to dry and then get in with the little bit of detail and touch up work. So almost there. That's R2 pretty much done. Obviously it's not a detailed model kit, but there's quite a lot of detail engraving on it and everything else. It looks very nice. I'm happy with that. So that's all finished. I've also done another one exactly the same, or pretty much exactly the same, and the third one in the Imperial colours, black and gold and silver. So that's that. Now, two of those I'm going to leave exactly like that. They're finished, they're done. I'm happy with those. This one is going to be the Dagobah look, so I need to bring out the mud. I've got some mud that I used on the Zaku build, which I'm going to try putting on here and seeing how it looks. It's obviously going to be muddy from the bottom up, so the top's going to be not much different to how it is at the moment, but the bottom's going to be pretty much covered in mud. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start off with the turned dirt, which is the very liquid mud. What I'm going to do is put it on some paper so I don't get it everywhere, and we'll see how that comes out and how that works. Let's have a look. What I'm going to use is a big old brush that's, as I say, not in any shape or form of being used afterwards. I'm going to get rid of most of the paint from the bottom there, and I'm pretty much just going to slap it on, just dabbing mud everywhere around the bottom. So it's going to work its way up, but the most muddy is going to be at the bottom. So if you start there and then work your way up without refilling the brush, that should give an effect of, say, less and less mud. I'm going to have to go through it again, obviously, and do the legs as well. But that's pretty much what I'm looking for. I'll stop jiggling it around in a minute and I've got some more on there. Let's just get, all of them is going to be a bit muddy. I will be adding some detail mud in sort of edges of panels and things like that as well. But just as a first wash over, I'm actually quite happy with that. That's come out just as I imagined. So I need to do the legs as well, but that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. It's not any more scientific than that. So just not brushing, just dabbing to get it into crevices and all of these little bits. So yeah, I'm just going to get that done on all of it. As I say, I'm going to add some more detail dirt and that into the panels and things, so I'll show you that when I get more. I'm done. I'm calling it finished. That's, let's say, nice shiny R2, all done, finished, painted, touched up. It's not perfect, but it's fine. I'm happy with it. It's great. I thought about doing little scratch built protuberances, but no, I'm going to leave it as is. So that's him there. That's Dagobah R2, all mucky and dirty and covered in mud. So again, I'm happy with the way that's come out. I think I could have gone a bit dirtier, but that's fine. First time really heavy weathering something, so I'm happy with how that's come out. That's all right. It sort of definitely looks different to the shiny one. So yeah. And the third one I've done in the Imperial colours, the bronze and black. So again, thanks very much, Shane. I hope I've done you proud with the paintwork on those and the building. Thanks for sending them to me. I'll put them on a shelf and pride of place. And that's it. Thanks for watching. As ever, if you like and subscribe to the channel, you can come back for more. There'll be more different things from time to time. I do occasional live streams and obviously lots of video series of different things that I've been building. So stay tuned, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.